question. Who's Aryan? Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. If possible, can you explain this or provide any linkage to this? No, he's asking that these Ritvik Acharyas, they're officiating giving Diksha. They're the people who give Diksha to those, to whose disciple are they? They are his disciples. They are his disciples. Who is initiating? He is grand disciple. So what's your question? What does it mean, grand disciple, and they're his disciple? So he, let's see here.
We don't really go there because we consider there's no such thing as grand disciple. We consider that everyone can be number one, first in line disciple of Prabhupada, directly initiated by Prabhupada via the
Officiating.
process of officiating acharyas. So that from now on, there will be no disciple, grand disciple, this disciple, that disciple. It just said everyone will be God brothers and God sisters, regardless of when they were initiated.
Yeah, these ISKCON GBC people, they try to make things very, very complicated and very misconstrued.
Well, because for them it's a business.
Yeah,
and they want to be sure that all the business parts are kept in place.
Yeah. So then he has, so is this not an authorized text? Well, it's not authorized text. What do you mean by that? Is Tamal was always up to something, whenever he asked a question. Let's see. Okay, share this transcript. Let me go over here. Okay, so he asked that question when Srila Prabhupada said his grand disciple. So we just answered it. So he's asking, is it not a bona fide? So is this not an authorized text? Well, Prabhupada speaks it here in this May 28th transcript. So I'm not sure what you're trying to ask. We're saying that everyone is Prabhupada's disciple, the Uttama Adhikari.
Yeah, everyone is equally Prabhupada's disciple. If you take initiation through the officiating Acharya, you become my godbrother. I was initiated by Prabhupada personally in September 20th, 1968. And here we are in 2022.
Right.
And if you want to be Prabhupada's disciple, then you become my godbrother. Are you going to say junior godbrother? I mean, if you want to get really picky, you can say, yeah, junior godbrother by a few decades. But that's not the point. You're my godbrother, god sister. We're all equal. I mean, who are we to create distinctions on earth?
Right.
Look at that. What we just read that about trying to create a hierarchy of people based on religion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's all it is. It's just bogus religion. We don't need a hierarchy because in Krishna Loka, hierarchy doesn't work that way. In Krishna Loka, the devotees of Krishna, the residents of Krishna Loka are all in relationship to one another based upon their relationship to Krishna, not based in their relationship to some organization.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Narayana Prabhu, you just mentioned that everyone is in deep ecstatic love with Krishna. There's no distinction between this, that, and Mother Yashoda.
So a cowherd boy is on technically a lower status than a gopi, but that doesn't mean the cowherd boy doesn't have a function to fulfill there that is just as qualified, just as satisfying to Krishna as that of as the gopi is. You know, in other words, the hierarchical structure of Krishna Loka is based upon devotional service, not based upon what year you were initiated. And in fact, in Krishna Loka, nobody's initiated. Everyone's eternally there. All this initiation does is create religion.
Right, yeah. But Prabhupada did say there was some Vaishnava etiquette that, devotees that were initiated earlier than you, yeah.
Oh, yes. That is simply because human beings require that.
Yes.
They require that. Just like honoring your father and mother doesn't go away when you become a Vaishnava.
Yes. Yes.
And if your mother and father become devotees, it doesn't go away.
Right. Never goes away, right?
No, but it doesn't dominate the reality that you were both. If the whole family was initiated on the same day, mother, father, 2 children, or whatever, aunt, uncle, they all initiated on the same day by Prabhupada. Well, that doesn't mean that the family structure is broken down so that everyone is now equally neophyte Vaishnavas.
Right, right.
Everyone remains who they were in the relationship they had before.
Right. And Prabhu is asking a follow-up question. He said, since many people use this text to defend themselves and their guru, well, they can do anything they like, these people that come up with
that. Could you repeat that again?
He says, since many people use this text to defend themselves and their guru.
Okay, what is the text again?
He's talking about grand disciples, of how the ISKCON initiators are qualified to be having disciples.
And who has written that text?
Oh, that was in the letter that Srila Prabhupada says they will have grand disciples, or he will be grand disciple of Prabhupada's officiating Acharya.
Yeah, but that's from the May 28th tape. Right?
Yeah, May 28th.
Well, if you notice the May 28th tape, there's a lot of stuff that's very, very convoluted and confused.
Oh, yeah.
Mixed up. Of course, people try to say it isn't, but it is.
Yeah, they're trying to use this May 28 as justification for them to be Kanishta Adhikari or less than Kanishta Adhikari gurus. And if we look at the history of ISKCON, it did not work, and it will never work unless the person is an Uttama Adhikari. That's there in the scripture, Nectar of Instruction, and many other.
And since nobody is, go ahead.
No, I said these people are just using this tape just to justify and bypass being an Uttama Adhikari to have any Tom, Dick, and Harry can be a guru.
So what is it they want to use it for?
To money and power. That's it. To control the
but
chickens.
If they're saying that from the back, but what about from the front? In other words, they are making up that whole structure, but then they are trapped in that structure as well.
Right, right. So these May 28th, July 9th letter or whatever it is, it has to be understood in a proper context. What was Prabhupada doing, how he was trying to save the movement, It's not just take it and run kind of thing,
Yeah. So all of these structures, they're disciple, grand disciple, at what point does it end?
At the point I become the next Acharya and replace Srila Prabhupada.
That's all used to stack people up underneath an Acharya.
Yeah, like the Acharyas need our help.
Yeah, but I mean, and how about a bogus Acharya? The bogus Acharya needs all the help he can get.
Right. Yeah. So you've come. Then he's asking Prabhu, then how to prove them or help them understand that the previous disciple of Prabhupada has adulterated the audio and text. Well, if you read Prabhupada's books, it is very clear who can be a guru. Nectar of Instruction, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other places. The guru must be an Uttamadhikari. So,
so while everybody is busy fiddling around trying to decide which amongst us is the next potential Uttamadhikari,
yes,
we are forgetting that Prabhupada is already the Uttamadhikari.
Yes.
And in the end, we're just going to have to all come like a bunch of idiotic kids after they've been playing and being very naughty. They're all going to have to come and sit in the circle around the campfire with their fingers touching their lips, saying, there is only one Uttamadhikari, and that's Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
And without any other Uttamadhikari on the horizon, we don't need to pretend or play to be Uttamadhikari simply because we have a command of Shastra or because we know Sanskrit or some reason like that. That's not a reason enough. They have to be able to be a friend. Prabhupada is a descended. They want to say Prabhupada is dead, therefore who's going to be next? They're saying Prabhupada is gone, who's next? Prabhupada is dead, who's next? Prabhupada was Acharya, who's next?
Right.
But who the hell are they to say that Prabhupada is gone? As we say, he reasons ill who say Vaishnavas die, when thou art living still in sound, emphasis on the word sound. Vaishnavas die to live, and living spread the holy life around. So Prabhupada is alive in sound, and his sound is in his recordings. And those recordings, if studied and practiced, in other words, you get like if there's 20 new devotees that never came into Krishna consciousness before, sitting in the temple, we give them headphones and they put on the headphones so they can hear Prabhupada chanting. But basically, they would all have headphones tapped into one kirtan that Prabhupada is chanting, and all 20 are hearing it through their headphones. And when they hear that for a number of days, they will know it. They'll have it. Then they have a kirtan in the temple after they do their headphone session, put on the headphones to sub kirtan. They will play the mridanga like Prabhupada. They will dance like Prabhupada. They will play kartals like Prabhupada. And they will chant like Prabhupada.
Is that clear, Aryan?
Yeah. At what point wouldn't that work?
Yeah. I mean, another point is that most people are trained to be followers. People don't critically think. First thing they take away from you when you join the so-called hijacked GBC ISKCON is they tell you to leave your brains out at the door and run with our brains. What we tell you is what you believe. That's why a lot of people just follow. Here we're telling people, okay, read Prabhupada's books and think for yourself. We're not.
Yeah, because everybody then is saying, okay, then who is going to be the leader?
Yeah. Well, why don't you become the leader?
well, of course, but why don't we say, well, Prabhupada is the leader?
Yeah, and Prabhupada is the leader, and then the leader is speaking.
We say, but he's dead. We say he's not as dead as you are, dude.
Right. So
how can we say that Prabhupada is dead when his sound vibration is vibrating as much as it was when he was alive?
Yeah.
How do you distinguish dead? When a Vaishnava dies, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Does that mean that he ceases to exist? Or that he goes and takes another body? Maybe he becomes a raccoon or a horse or a tiger? What does it mean when an Acharya dies?
Yeah. The benefit of Kali Yuga, and especially Srila Prabhupada appearing, just in our lifetime, is everything is recorded and archived. So there's nothing like this for any other Acharya or spiritual teacher, So
so we need to get used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the people that introduced Prabhupada to tape recorders.
Yeah.
I think. So now let's make that work for us.
Yeah. The books are there, the tapes are there, the letters are there. What else do you need? I mean, come on.
Yeah. If Prabhupada said he's living through his books, those are just paper and ink. How can you say you're living through paper and ink? But that's not the point, is it? It's the sound vibration in that paper and ink. When you read it, the sound vibration comes out as sound, not as ink.
Haribol. So he asks a further question here. Aryan Prabhu is saying, thank you very much, Prabhu. Right. So, Prabhu, so how long do this guru business will go on? Would there be any time when everyone will understand Prabhupada is the only Diksha Guru in the future? Well, it's already going on. We have insight.
Yeah, why not? But we don't mean Diksha Guru as an abstract dead person sitting there.
No.
We mean Diksha Guru living.
Right now. Yes.
Yeah, so that to become initiated by Prabhupada, a person must become prolific in chanting Hare Krishna the way he chants, and never chanting or allowing anyone to chant anywhere else.
Yeah.
All these kirtans all over the place are simply jokes. They're not jokes, they're insults.
And another point that Prabhu is asking, the guru business is already failing. It failed, back in the 70s, so it's he's concerned about the future when Prabhupada is the only Diksha Guru.
Well, how can he say that it failed in the 70s?
I mean, these people who the successors who came in the 1970s, and they were trying to be gurus, right?
Well, not in the 70s. They weren't trying to become gurus.
Acharya Nandana tried to be the guru in 1968 or something. Prabhupada said, when the spiritual master is alive, you bring the prospective candidate to the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada.
No, that's because he was being polite to a bunch of creeps.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I guess
we shouldn't take that. We can take it seriously in the mood of what it really was. But we can't take it seriously. Oh, this is what Prabhupada wanted us to do. No, he's the Acharya. He was there. He was able to speak. You could ask him questions. He could deliver transcendental sound vibration. His kirtans are equal to those in Krishna Loka. So now, why do you want not to have kirtan from Krishna Loka? Who would not want to have kirtan from Krishna Loka? You see what I mean?
A madman?
It's just a person who thinks, if I chant and become a popular icon, and like a rock star with kirtan, boy, I will really be pleasing everyone. And when I see a crowd of 1,000 people dancing in ecstasy when I'm leading the kirtan, that means I must be very spiritually advanced.
Yeah.
But what if he is simply exercising their different chakras other than their crown chakra? What about the heart chakra? Or isn't that just, that's just sentimental, that's just sense gratification. The kirtans that in the temples today are based on sense gratification. And they're ugly to hear.
Okay, he has some more questions. Or no, that's it. Well, he's asking about the present day criminal GBC Guru program. So, he's asking in the future when they don't exist anymore.
Say again?
Well, he's asking about the criminal GBC appointed guru program.
Yeah. Well, what about it?
They're saying
everything they do proves their guilt.
Yeah.
Every move they make proves their guilt.
Oh, yeah. So I guess he's talking about in the future, how long will it take for Srila Prabhupada to be the only Diksha Guru? Well, he's always been the only Diksha
It
Guru.
could take a long time, or it could be instantly.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I was thinking the other day, or well, today, I was like, well, Prabhupada was a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the contrarian Acharya, and then he started his own movement, right? And if this ISKCON appointed GBC appointed criminal gurus, if they're the next Acharya, they should start their own sampradaya, or I mean, own.
That is exactly what's happened throughout history.
Yeah.
You have a genuine Acharya, then you have people branching off, and then people branching off from that. Next thing you know, they're all trying to set up their own little Acharyaship somewhere.
Yeah. So
but all that is Prabhupada describes that as a social disturbance.
Yeah. So here, no one can do it. No one can do what Srila Prabhupada has done. So they use Srila Prabhupada as some sort of medium.
Yeah. It's a lucky rabbit's foot.
What? Lucky rabbit? What?
Lucky rabbit's foot.
Well, what does that mean?
Having the foot of a dead rabbit is considered lucky if you're Irish.
Oh.
Or a four-leaf clover. They consider that to be a lucky thing, but that doesn't have any value.
Yeah, value, right. Right. So why?
You have to understand that in essence, all of the Acharya, everyone compared to Prabhupada is a fallen soul.
Oh, yeah.
So now, if we preach like that to the public, everyone compared to Prabhupada is a fallen soul, then people will say, well, why am I following this guru? He's a fallen soul. Unless he can prove otherwise. If he can prove otherwise, how is he going to possibly do that?
Yeah. He also asked another question, so I answered him. He said, Narayana Prabhu, thank you very much. If possible, can you share your relationship with Srila Prabhupada before and after his disappearance, please? And how can I try to please him more, even though I am not all qualified and I have very less enthusiasm?
The way to please him is to beg him that you can become his disciple via the officiating Acharya.
Yeah. So if he's asking for your insights about Prabhupada memories, that is there on YouTube. You can catch that.